I'm so sorry this video is getting to you a day late. If you have been in the Divination Jammer group, you know that we had some crazy things happen in the last 2 days that really were eye-opening and awakening within my life. So things got a little delayed, but life happens and we go from there. So here we are doing this video right now. Happy full moon. I don't know if you can feel the energy surrounding this moon, but it is extremely powerful. Personally, I began to feel its effects on Friday, and yesterday they were strong, and today they're even stronger. There's this huge identifying factor coming through with, yes, a completion and a clearing like we normally see with full moons, but a really deep clearing. Like the things that you've still tolerated, that were still in your life that you haven't fully cleared, those like last signals are pushing through to have you just dismiss them completely. And I mean that, and I said that with such like push, because we have this Mars alignment, a moon trine Mars, that's happening. And with that, we bring a lot of emotional energy that permeates from us, okay? So when we have this permeating energy of emotion, sometimes, we feel like we need to reel it back in. But under this new moon, as long as you're channeling your intuition thoroughly inside this emotion, there's no point in reeling it in, because it's really your subconscious self pushing out those final pieces of your life that are no longer aligned with what this new coming of self is. And a lot of us went through ascension at the beginning of the year. Myself personally went through a huge one, but there was still what I was going through at my job that was hanging on to myself, pulling down my worth, pulling down my value, leading me in this sense to believe that, the things that were happening were normal, and they absolutely were not. So we have this whole sense of being coming into play, and as this full moon energy rolls through, boom, that last piece is completely thrown away and pushed outwardly and abruptly and kind of iconically in a sense within ourselves, because of that emotional drive that this Mars station has with us. So we are in this Aquarius time. We are moving into Pisces coming around the 19th. And with that, you also are feeling these different imaginative thoughts, these creative feelings. So all of this is pushing forward into this deeper sense of self. As we know, Pisces holds all essences of all the other zodiac signs. So you have the final zodiac sign that's holding essences of everything else. And that is, too, accumulating factor of what is going into everything that's happening here. Because you have this full super moon leading with all this Mars energy into this completely inward turn, that Pisces and all the aspects coming together for a full formed version of you. Now, I have been pulling excuse me, pulling the fertility card over the last 3 days. And I shouldn't really even say pulling, because one of the days it did come forward. Another one of the days, between two different shufflings, it was flipped a different direction, or it was shown in some way, or poking out of the corner. And today it just completely fell out of the deck. So this fertility card is extremely, extremely important to this energy that's going on. Now, fertility doesn't just mean giving birth to a child, spawning life, all of that. Fertility is also about new opportunities and bringing those to life and allowing those to bloom. And how we just went through Imbolc, we talked about the goddess Bridget and how she is the mother, the womb of creating opportunity, creating the eternal flame, allowing you to ignite your inner spirit. So we have this version of fertility that just keeps popping up consistently and is just very, very in line with my personal expansion and the expansion that is happening in the collective, as we have all these high energies pushing out those final pieces of our old selves in 2019. Because again, 2020, our 2020 vision, seeing clearly, our mind's eye, bringing all of that forward, and we're going through planetary, collective, and individual shifts in all of those aspects. So we have this card that keeps appearing to itself. Now, I still have the healing card from this deck and the witch card from this deck on my altar, because those are my Imbolc cards. So those are sitting there with that through this turning point. But even without that card, if it was in this stack, this card has presented itself. Now what we're going to do is we are just going to see as a collective within everyone who ended up at this video, because that does not happen by circumstance at all. Circumstance does not exist. It's all the part of the divine plan. So we're just going to see what all of that is entailing to us, okay? And how we really feel about the energies being expressed. And we have success coming out of that, okay? So with this success card that has been followed by this fertility so often, that is absolutely amazing. It's just a really big feeling of what all these energies bring us when we align with our true selves. So if you're being called to this video, if you ended up here, really think about that, because that is a part of who you are and a part of how your divine path was laying out, so you could see this come to light. And that's what happens even when we enter. So when we enter the unknown and when things happen, I'm just going to use myself as an example right now. Me not having a job anymore, a position at my day job, all needed to happen. And now I'm in this place of unknown. But from unknown, anything can be created. It is your, I don't know if you want to call it opportunity, call it opportunity. If you want to call it your excuse, call it your excuse to find and hold on to whatever you feel aligned with, because it is a blank slate for you. It doesn't have to be a job. It could be, being kicked out of an apartment, or, hitting rock bottom in a financial standpoint. From that blank slate, you build everything else. And you have this card to show you that it's all coming to your light, okay? And we're going to do the same with my other deck. I've been pulling recently from 2 separate decks, because I think it gives us 2 different identifying factors as to, what can be expressed even under the same essences. So I think that's very important to go about. So scrying, the intuition card, all about looking deeper. So here we go with all of these things. And like I said, my 2 in bold cards as well were healing that we did together, as well as the witch card. And then we lead into fertility, opportunities, success coming from alignment and intuition, following that and embracing your soul and your power when it comes to all of those things. There is so much that is coming to you. And these 2 signs are infinite guidance from the universe to let us know that the unknown is all about your intuition. It's all about success. It's all about something new. And with this Leo energy of this full moon, we have this self-confidence, this inner, not to be cliche, but lion that's ready to roar, that's done being held back. It kind of reminds me of when you have like a baby cub and they're trying to roar, but it's holding them back, their inner voice. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's time. And out comes that roar. That is what's happening right now in the universe. That's what's happening within ourselves. And the chaos you may feel, things like that are going on, just sit with it, because everything can have a symbol that comes from it, can let you know something about what's inside of you. I just looked at the timer and it said 8:08, and I've been seeing 8:08 consistently very often. It's very, very strange. Today has just been a day of synchronicities in general as well. And also, just to throw this in there, I did do a post a little bit ago about white bleeding and red bleeding, and like bleeding with the new moon and the full moon. And the new moon is all about, family. So you ovulate with the full and you bleed with the new. That's all about family and that type of fertility and, structure of love and all of that type of stuff. And when you bleed with the full moon and you ovulate with the new moon, it's all about bringing opportunity and successes into your life, and that's what your subconscious is all about. So coincidentally, yesterday, that's when I began to bleed, and that is just, goes along with all of these things that we have coming together, like, in general. So there's just really powerful connection, and even though I just related to those to myself personally, I'm sure if you were called to this video, you see these signs in your life as well, because there's not just there's a reason that you're here and that you're watching this 9 minutes in right now, and it's because of these messages that are all being channeled and coming through. So for this full moon, really, really look at yourself inwardly, and really just, I would say, do abstract writing. Keep something near you and write down random thoughts, things that you catch your eye, all of these other acquaintances that align your subconscious mind more. Because those little things are what your intuition's all about. Like, you pick up on things for a reason. You see things for a reason. Also, trust your emotion. These effects of this full moon will be lasting 2 to 3 weeks, and you really just need to trust your emotion and trust your intuition. Feel into it. Logic really isn't going to be, logic in societal standards isn't going to be what you're holding on to right now that you want to harness. You want to be harnessing your intuitional logic, which comes from your emotion and your heart, because that's what's driving you through. That's what those energy centers are all about. And when we think of spiritual law and what people are most familiar with, manifestation, the law of attraction, that's all emotion and emotional energy based. It's all an energetic frequency, and our emotions put out those frequencies. So when we learn to channel our emotional energy and bring it forward into a sense of self and a sense of alignment, it really opens up so many gates, because you're not just thinking with here, you're thinking with everything. And we all know how important our emotional health is. It affects our gut, which is our other brain that sends signals everywhere to receptors. So the emotional energy is so important, and people get scared. They run from emotional energy. Trust me, I spent forever running from emotional energy. I have been bipolar, quote unquote. And I only do quote unquote because I feel like it's not really understood in a sense of what it's put out there as, because I mean, I have been off medication for over 5 years now, and everything just has diminished, and I've been able to learn how to control things. But anyway, so don't run from your emotion. And with that example, I'm saying with I was diagnosed bipolar, I would always run from all of these emotions because they were so in my face and always there. And emotions are bad, we're told, and like, don't show them and control them and only put certain ones out there and don't be crazy and all of these things. But all of those emotions are really telling you something. And when you can channel that emotional energy and brew it up and send it out into a different frequency, you're kind of bending darkness, you're bending the unknown, you're bending uncertainty. And that is a huge turning point in your existence. And everything happening in the stars leading into where we're going with Pisces, these super moons, the clearings, the 2020 vision, all of this heavy intensity that, like I said back around the winter solstice, whether you're ready for it or not, it's coming. It is going to take you. This is just not on an individual basis. This is everyone this is happening to. So learn to work with it. Learn to embrace it. Don't put any emotions off. Don't label any emotions. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a meaning, and everything is ready to be understood. And as soon as you can allow that to happen and accept that within yourself and bend all of the energy around you, that's when you're going to be set free from things, because you're going to look at things from an awareness standpoint, a perspective standpoint, a big picture standpoint. And the triggers aren't going to be there because you're going to understand yourself and you're going to be working with that understanding. So just kind of got off, a little bit. But there's so many things that correlate with stepping into your own and your ascension and understanding your emotions and where they come from. And even doing what I said, writing with the abstract thought is a huge way to begin to understand the feelings and the things that are being popped into your mind. Even if it's like you see something that you find that makes you smile, you write that down. Oh, why does it make me smile? Is there a memory there? Is there a happy instance? Is this something that framed my state of mind? So think about all those things. On this moon too, as you're harnessing your confidence and you're learning to understand your energy, thank your ancestors for bringing you here. Thank them for conspiring with the stars and the universe to align everything perfectly so that you came into being. Because you carry with yourself their energetic frequencies as well, and they're a part of you. So thanking them for all that they've done to bring you into existence really puts a deeper understanding of love and gratitude within yourself, which allows you to harness and align your being and put out your essence in the most authentic way, while dismissing the things that, even if it seems scary, will better off your future and your day-to-day and your present moment. All right, happy full moon, friends. Get your moon water out, nice jar, vessel, set that sacred space. Just be grateful to all that you are, all your emotions, and everything that ever has been and ever will be.